So I'm kind of late on this video. I should have made it within a week of Expedition 2 coming out, but I think now is probably the best time for me to drop this. My thoughts on Arc Raiders Expedition 1, and then what my hopes are going into Expedition 2. Now I know Expedition 2 is coming to an end, that's why I said I'm late, but I do have some strong opinions here. Let me give a few disclaimers before I get into the video. I have over 300 hours in this game, 342 to be exact. Yes, I know. If you're wondering, I haven't seen grass in days. I'm not entirely sure what that number was at the beginning of Expedition 2, but that's what I have right now. I completed the first expedition, I got the 5 mil, and I also got the additional 5 skill points that come with that. Not that that gives me any superiority over anyone else's opinion, but I do think given the time that I put in this game, I may have a different angle and opinion than others. So with that being said, these are my thoughts on Expedition 1. Let me start off with the pros. After reviewing my notes, one thing I noticed is that the majority of the pros that I have are related to the game's design. And given that these features technically can't be changed by the game without ruining its identity, I'll just list them off really quick. I really like how this game has a unique design to it, the retro futuristic art style along with the extraction shooter element with PvE and PvP mixed in. They were very creative and did a really good job with that. Another thing is the gameplay. It's kind of slow, but also very fast whenever you get into fights against PvE or PvP. It gives you the feeling of whenever you're in game, you have to be on your toes at all times. I also like the economy and crafting in this game. For the economy, I like that anything that I find in raid, whether that is from a chest, a trash can, a cabinet, or even other players, I like that you can bring it back to Speranza and sell it for actual in-game currency. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because I used to play Hunt Showdown and I really enjoyed the game. The only problem in my opinion is that whenever you kill another player, yes, you can loot their body, but majority of the time, if you loot their gun, you cannot sell it whenever you get back. It's going to be marked as contraband, and the only thing you can do with other people's guns is use them yourself. Now, if I personally enjoy using a specific gun and you don't have that, me stealing your loot is not really going to do much for me. I know there's a reason for that given their game mode, but I do like in this game, no matter what you find, no matter how you find it, you can sell it for currency. Crafting, on the other hand, I like how most of the items I find in raid can be brought back and crafted into things I actually want to use. This gives incentive for players to go around and loot in certain portions of the map. The reason why I think that's good is because everyone has a certain playstyle. My playstyle may be gunplay, your playstyle may be trigger nades. Slight shade, but given your playstyle, you'll learn areas of the map that you should go to in order to loot that specific resource that you need. Also with crafting, you have blueprints and workbenches. I think they nailed it with this system. Even though I'm going to lose them at the end of every single expedition, I like the idea that if I 100% the game, I could reset everything, get some buffs with that reset, and then go back into the world and live it all over again. Last but not least is proximity chat. With proximity chat, you got to take the good with the bad, and me personally, I'm all about toxicity. I don't mind it. I'm not the most toxic guy ever, but if you bring that energy here, you will gladly get it returned. And I think that's missing in gaming. Most of the time, people are just locked away in Discord or locked away in party chat on PlayStation or Xbox, and you really don't get that human-to-human interaction anymore. And even in certain games like Call of Duty, if I'm not mistaken, the last time I played it, after the match, they just kick you out. Like, you can't even talk shit afterwards if they were talking shit beforehand. Like, it's dumb as hell. It's crazy because the most interaction I got out of gaming within the last decade was from freaking Rocket League, people saying, what a save. Okay, I tried to get all my thoughts out right there. Everything that you just heard me say is pretty much just the honeymoon phase and my first impressions coming into the game. Now for the pros that I think are good for the game that they should keep going into Expedition 2. I technically only have 2. I could add more later, but the first one is the parkour in the game. I think this feature was intended but unintended. Let me explain myself. Being able to mantle and jump off of things, grab onto ledges, climb back up, drop down, all the mechanics they have allowing you to parkour, low-key feels slow but satisfying. My favorite multiplayer game of all time was Uncharted 2, so it's kind of obvious that I would enjoy this feature. But one thing that I think was unintended by the game is people jumping off of a 70-foot tower and landing on a literal rail, but they mantled instead of landing on it, giving them the ability to avoid all fall damage. I've seen people jump off of the towers on Spaceport in the middle of the map and land at the very bottom and avoid all fall damage. I could see them trying to nerf this and implement fall damage whenever you mantle, but I don't want them to. I think this is a good feature. I honestly do. But my pro isn't just about being able to avoid fall damage. It's about the parkour mechanic in general. My next pro are the weekly trials. This game is actually pretty casual, but it does have competitive elements of PvP. Weekly trials add that extra competitive edge to it. I don't think this game needs a ranked mode. I repeat, this game does not need a ranked mode. And this is coming from someone who loses interest in a game if it doesn't. The reason why I haven't lost interest in this game is because of the weekly trials. Every single week I have something to look forward to grind for and get loot off of. It avoids having the need to have a battle pass or something to build towards because every week it refreshes. Sure, the weekly trials do need some tweaks, and I'll speak about this in the cons section. But overall, this is a nice feature, unique. I don't think I've even seen this before in games. And the leaderboards that you're paired into changing every single week and being limited to only 100 players lessens the probability that you'll get paired into a group of people who are just hacking the game. I see a very bright future for this game. However, the way things have been going these last 3 to 4 months, I can see this game actually dying due to these cons that I'm going to mention. Now, for my first con in Expedition 1, it's going to be all the defects and bugs. And I'm going to actually just narrow this down to just the ability for people to just walk through walls. The walls in Expedition 1 were equivalent to paper. People were just strolling through walls, getting key loot, all kinds of shit. And it wasn't even like you had to do some extravagant routine to get through these walls. It literally was just run at the wall, I will run behind you, and we will get through this door. Out of all the years that I've been gaming, and I've been gaming for a long time now. Yeah, sure, you get those moments like in GTA where you fall through the map and like you're looking up and you see all the design of the map, you see the buildings, the people, NPCs, but those are like one-offs. This game, everyone was doing it, yo. How is running out of walls so consistent of letting you pass? I've seen people glitch through walls, doors, floors, ceilings. Hell, I've seen people glitch through mountains. Like, what's going on here, bro? I don't understand how you could code walls so badly. Like, I don't understand it. Especially since you are the same company as the finals. I don't think, like, maybe because the finals, like low-key, those walls are paper. Like, you could really smash through a bunch of walls. Anyways, this leads me to my second con with the game. Why is it taking these motherfuckers so long to drop an update? Now, I'm not putting this on the developers. I'm putting this on the company. If you see that there's a problem, as a company, you put all hands on deck to fix that problem. Instead, they give everyone a month-long break. Now, I'm all for giving employees breaks. Hell, I'm 9 to 5 as well. If me personally, if I was a dev for this company, and you know as a game developer how high a game can hit if it hits like a Fortnite, and there's going to be big bonuses, or there should be big bonuses behind that, I would gladly ignore a winter break one time to iron out my game to make sure that it's a fucking hit. Instead, they give them a month-long break and crackheads are running around with Venators and trigger nades blowing everyone else sky high. Like, yo, trigger nades were busted for a month. Like, don't get me wrong, it's been more than a month, but like people found out about it and they were running rampant for that long. Like, come on now, bro. I'm a developer myself, not for games, but I'm pretty fucking sure to nerf trigger nades was just a number change. I'm pretty sure instead of saying 1 second, by the way, that nerf was shit. The trigger nades are still busted. Anyways, hell, I'm ignorant to game development, but as a developer, if I'm just trying to change the deploy time, that should just be a variable. Why the fuck did it take y'all so long? Now, me personally, I would have changed it to where you cannot blow trigger nades up in the air. That just doesn't make sense to me. People are still Hail Mary throwing them shits and blowing them up in midair. The nerf didn't do jack shit. I'm very passionate about this one con because I think that this con carries into Expedition 2 and it's going to be the reason why this game fails. In summary, people are unhappy about the state of your game right now, and instead, you're taking forever to fix the problem. I said that I was going to mention it, so let me just quickly get this one out the way. A con about the weekly trials. I think overall the weekly trials are really good for the game, but we need new variety of tasks to complete. We've seen doing damage to Rocketeers, we've seen doing damage to Leapers, we've seen opening probes, we've seen delivering carryables, we've seen all this. We need new ideas in there, like damage to Rocketeers with hairpins, or damage to other raiders to promote PvP because everybody's so afraid to do that. or even something as simple as loot value brought back to Speranza. So basically, if you come in with 0 loot value and you leave and successfully extract back to Speranza with 100k, you get 100k points. Something I just thought of now could be ducks found. You know how they have all these ducks now? They just go into a raid. The amount of ducks that you find, you get XP for it, and that will be the amount of points that you extract with. Something that simple. We just need something new. Another thing with the trials, these leaderboards, this week-long stuff, The reason why I say this is because sometimes I'll play the game on a Monday, but I'm cooked because I know everyone who plays on a Monday that I'm going to get paired up against most likely is a sweat, and their score is going to be high. So it's already going to be an uphill battle. The other issue is, if I go on vacation and I come back on a Friday, should I play the game knowing I'll get paired in a leaderboard that most likely I'm going to get demoted? There's a weird feeling with this week-long leaderboard stuff. It's good and it's bad. It's like a double-edged sword. My next con is the balancing in this game. We've all seen it with the guns and the equipment in this game doing too much damage or not enough, but my main complaint is in regards to the key room. Key rooms, in my opinion, are the identity of Arc Raiders, and it feels like whenever you use the keys, you don't get that risk versus reward from it. I understand at some point you just can't give everything inside of a key room, but if I make another expensive ass loadout because I'm coming in with a purple key and I'm expecting a nice return, I come in with about a like 60k kit and I go inside the key room and guess what I find? A fucking power rod, a fucking Vita spray. And those are the good keys. Imagine if I go inside a purple key room and the best item I find is a freaking sterilized bandage. This is a massive problem because this is something that makes Arc Raiders so unique. Some of the best fights that I've had have been because I'm holding down the fort inside of my key room, or I'm pushing inside of a key room trying to steal whatever they found. I've actually seen people sell their keys instead of going to the actual key room. I'm no game designer or dev, but just spitballing, make certain items only accessible in key rooms. Everyone saw how getting that Aphelion blueprint made people turn into savages. Now that it's accessible everywhere, it's lost value, and I don't see that as a fix. In an extraction shooter, there should be items that are rare. Look at what people used to say about the golden scar in Fortnite. Even though it's not an extraction shooter, everyone wanted that item. Make something like that in Arc Raiders. If the item is busted, but it's rare, so be it, so be it. I would be perfectly fine dying to something that's busted because we've been dealing with it with Trigger Nades, Venators, and Toros. I would be perfectly fine if that item was golden and I was like, I had a chance to get that, but I fucked up. I'm okay with that. Let me elaborate. Make this item non-craftable. No blueprint can be found for it, but it can only be found in certain key rooms. It's that simple. That way you're not getting someone who's just crafting it out their mind because they play the game all day. Okay, I know what I said is a pretty big hot take, but I have one more. Please bear with me. I don't think you should be able to safe pocket blueprints. Now, before you start getting upset and everything, just think about it. If you get into a new raid and you find a blueprint that you want, I just put it in my safe pocket and I continue my raid like nothing happened. Like, yo, there should be some type of urgency to leave, not only whenever you get a nice gun. Instead, people are dying with really nice blueprints and they're like, nah, I in a safe pocket. Like, come on now, bro. I'm not trying to steal your shit, but I personally myself want that. I don't even know the word for it. It's not a dopamine hit, but it's like something you get whenever you know you have something nice and you're playing hella cautious now. You're checking all your angles. You're not getting on proximity chat anymore. You don't give a damn if a motherfucker says friendly, like they're getting clapped right then and there, and you're beelining it to the nearest exit. Like, that feeling that you get right there is what I'm trying to capture. I guess the best word that I can describe it as is an adrenaline rush. With a safe pocket, you don't get that same feeling. If I get out, I get money. If I don't get out, I still get my blueprint at the end of the day. So I don't care what happens. Let's just go balls to the wall. Like, no, bro. Like, what the fuck? To close my idea out, I think my funnest time on the game was when I found a Tempest blueprint on a free loadout, and I had the time of my life because not only did I lose that blueprint, literally the whole lobby felt like it collapsed into the area where I was at. I lost it, but I had a fucking amazing time trying to defend what I had with fucking sticks and stones of a free loadout. Another thing I hope to see in Expedition 2 or even in Expedition 3 is quicker crafting. Like, I know we've always been asking for custom loadouts. If you're not going to do custom loadouts, if I'm looking at a particular item that I need to craft and it says I need mechanical components and simple gun parts and I don't have mechanical components, why do I have to back out of that menu, go to a different menu, go inside that menu, and then craft them, and then go back out of that menu, go back to the gun, and then craft the gun? Just let me be able to click on the little thumbnail of mechanical components to craft one. I'm fine with spam clicking that shit 7 times just to make them right then and there, than having to back out of 8 menus to go back into 5 menus to craft that to go back out of 5. I just repeating myself. That's how it feels like every single time to craft a gun in this game, or any other item for that matter. So for Expedition 1, if I were to have to put it on a grading scale, I would probably give it about an 8 out of 10 because of all the bugs and the time delay of releasing content and everything. 8 out of 10 is not bad. I don't think the game deserves an 8 out of 10. I think it's actually higher than that. But they definitely need to get on top of it whenever it comes to like these patches and updates and exploits. There's too much going on right now for them to ignore it. I have so much more to say, but this video has gone on for too long. I appreciate everyone who made it to this point. If you can, leave a like because you actually made it through the whole video. Like, come on now. Give me some credit. These videos aren't made in 10 minutes. But regardless, to be honest, I'm such a small YouTuber that like the views is honestly what I like to see. So I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one.
No, chill, I'm new, I'm a noob, please, I'm just a noob.
Wait, to be fair, real quick, hear me out. He killed the other guy first, and I killed him next. No, you don't want to hear me out? All right.